Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening, a beautiful sight. We're happy tonight, we're walking in a winter wonderland.
Hey guys, yeah, I know the hair is poodly. This is actually my hair naturally, which is why I like to straighten it. Yeah, so it's Saturday and I've had a really good week. First week back at university has actually been awesome. Ecology and conservation biology, been learning sort of the ins and outs of ecology, basics, and population, and then animal behaviour and ecophysiology. We've been looking at how animals cope with hot and cold climates, which has been really interesting, just sort of building on stuff that we've learnt before. But my favourite part of the week has been, we had a bit of instead of a lecture yesterday, we had more of a sort of discussion tutorial, which was our lecturer gave us a paper and asked, and like some links to some YouTube videos, and asked us to watch them, and then I'll put links down in the doogly-doo. So we were looking at Ethiopian wolves. Ethiopian wolves are quite small wolves, live in the Afro-Alpine region of Ethiopia. Most of them are in the Bale Mountains. There's only 500 of them, 550 of them in the wild, and 300 of them live in small packs in this in small populations in this mountain region. There's about 7 subpopulations. These little guys live in groups of 2 to 18 wolves, and out of them only 2 of them will reproduce. So you've got, out of about 500 wolves, you've only got 20 to 30 of them reproducing. So they're quite low numbers and they're not reproducing very much because of the whole dominant pack thing. But the problem is that these guys are dying because of rabies, which is pretty prevalent in Ethiopia. So we were looking at sort of the ecology side of like why they're getting the rabies so easily and why they're dying out so easily. So the problem with them is, well, they're pack animals. They're social, they've got a lot of contact with each other, wolves and dogs, and they can catch diseases from each other really easily because they are genetically close. They also have a shrinking habitat because of humans. Juveniles have a really high mortality rate. They have competition with other species, hyenas and jackals, which are bigger and more powerful than these dogs. They're quite dainty little dogs. They're really cute with sort of really thin muzzles. They're quite pretty. They live in small packs in small populations, and they have quite a low reproductive capacity. They produce 5 to 6 pups a year, and their diet is 75% giant mole rat. That's what they eat, giant mole rats. They're very specific carnivores. So because of that, they don't have a big wide food chain. It's a food web. You've got the wolf eats the mole rat, which eats whatever it eats, insects and plants, and then the insects eat the plants. That's it. So the problem there is if you wipe out the wolves, then you're going to get a load of mole rats, and then not very much of what they eat. It's trophic cascade, that's called. And then you've got the issue of if you got rid of the wolves, would the jackals or the hyenas fit that ecological niche? That's quite a zoology term. Would they fit the niche that they used to fill? They're also a problem for humans. Humans are a problem for wolves, the wolves are a problem for the humans. The wolf could act as a vector for rabies if there's enough of them, and the humans basically exploit their habitat. They use it for farming, for sheep and cattle. If you've got no wolves, you've got more rats. The rats will eat the grass and there'll be less grass for the livestock. and would the hyenas and the jackals hunt the livestock if there wasn't any mole rats or wolves left. So we were looking at how we could conserve them. So the main things that they're doing just now is a vaccination of the domestic dogs in the villages, and they've been trying to capture the wolves and vaccinate them, but the problem is the oral vaccine isn't legal in Ethiopia, which means that it's not as easily distributed because you need to catch them and you need to give them an injection. It takes a couple of doses of the vaccination for it to work, so you need to catch the same animal 2 or 3 times to be able to test that it's fully resistant to rabies. We also suggest maybe moving the smaller populations into bigger populations so that there were more breeding pairs, starting a breeding program to maintain the bloodlines, continuing the vaccinations. Somebody suggested putting vaccination in the water that they drink, the oral vaccination. And the other suggestion was breaking up the larger populations, which may sound a bit mad, but if you break up the larger populations into smaller packs, you've got more breeding pairs, which means that you'll actually have more breeding. So it's kind of a divide and conquer, as my lecturer put it. So, yeah, I like these little wolfie guys. They're cute. So, yeah, I'll put all the links down. And if you guys ever want me to, question me about anything else, I can look it up and I'll give you some information about it. If it's any animals or conservation or ecology or, I like my animals. Anyway, have a good weekend and I'll speak to y'all later. Bye!